What's up, guys? Hope you're all doing good. In this video, I really want to see this. I like stuff like this. Formerly incarcerated share their deepest secrets. So people who are in jail, prison. I like hearing stories of places I've never been or never will be. So let's see it. Let's get to it.
A group of people was all asked, "What are you most afraid is true about you?" These are their answers.
Circle of secrets.
I am ashamed that my criminal life took away so much time from my family life.
Now, if this is your secret and you would like to step forward to share your story, you may do so on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Latino.
Ever since I turned 18, I've just been in and out of jail, like nonstop. There hasn't been 1 year that I haven't got locked up. I spent so much time in jail that I kind of lost track of my family relations, as far as my dad, my mom, my son. When my dad suffered a stroke, I realized it was too late because my dad always wanted to hang out with me. I do tattoos. I did him a couple of tattoos, but he always wanted more, and I'll be always too busy running the streets or, just not making time for him. And he passed away last year, and I regret it. He was always trying to hang out with me, and like I said, I was so busy trying to impress the wrong people, and
I can't relate to the streets part, but I haven't seen almost any of my family in like 15 to 18 years. Not because of me not wanting to go to any family functions or anything. It's because of my mental illness that I suffer from. Plus my anxiety and my depression. Anyways, my Aunt Leanne died on June 1st. And I tried thinking back when was the last time I seen her, and I can't. I honestly think it was probably in 2000. There's a family reunion 24 years ago. My grandpa, who passed away like 5 years ago, my grandma and grandpa, my grandma's still alive. She's in her late 90s. She had a stroke about 3 years ago, and she's still able to do things, but needs a nurse and everything. But they were always wanting me to come visit them. And when my grandpa died, I still feel shame, even though my mom and my dad say, Ryan, he knew that you loved him. He knew that you loved him very much. But I cried and cried, not just because he was my grandpa and he was a great man, but because I couldn't when you have mental illness plus severe depression, anxiety, panic disorder, it cripples you. It cripples you. Anyways, I didn't see my grandpa. I seen him about 3 times since 2000. So he died in 2019. So 19 years. I seen him like 3 times. Even though he was a great grandpa, my grandma was wonderful. I remember staying the night, and they were just so good to me and my brothers and their great grandparents, to me and my nieces and nephews and their great nieces and not nieces and nephews, grandparents. Anyways, but he was too busy on the streets and everything, and being in prison and jail. His dad was always like, I want to hang out with you more. And it's a reminder, tomorrow is never promised. The next day is never promised. Heck, the next hour isn't promised. If your mom and dad, grandparents, they want to talk, they want to hang out, do it. Because I promise you, you're going to regret it. And it's going to haunt you for the rest of your life.
I'm just never gonna get that time back. Well, now I'm trying to make amends with my family. Like, I have this time now, and I just want to, make the relationships right instead of like trying to impress other people. Now I'm trying to get my family involved in what I do, and I don't want to make the same mistakes. So now everything I'm doing, like, even though my family might not realize it, but I'm trying. And that's all I can do, just keep trying.
If anyone can relate to Mario's secret, you can step forward on 3.
I'm going to share this. I haven't seen my mom in 5 years because of the same thing. My mom is my rock, my best friend. She's so wonderful. If she dies before me, you may never see me again. I'm not going to kill myself, but I'm just I'm going to be in bad shape for the rest of my life. Plus I don't have friends, to talk to. Got in an argument with my dad a couple weeks ago, talking about my mom and how I'm probably going to be on the ground, just like curled up, and probably have to have an ambulance come. And we got into an argument because he's like, Ryan, you shouldn't have to get there. You shouldn't be on the floor crying and need an ambulance. You should have faith in God to get you through it. I love God. I believe in God. If there's so many people that have had to be taken away in ambulances because they just are unconsolable. but yet they still love God. They still have faith in God. He's basically saying, you shouldn't need to do that. You shouldn't need to do that. You should have faith in God. I do. I love God. But my dad can be an idiot sometimes.
1, 2, 3.
4 people are standing up who can relate.
You know, I lost my dad while I was in prison. And my grandfather, he was the person I loved more than anything. He wasn't even my blood. He just took me in and said, you know, I'm going to be there for you. And all he wanted to do was see me before I got out of prison. And he got to see me a few times, but the last time I saw him, he was in the throes of dementia. He barely recognized me. He couldn't remember where he was. And I think all of those years that I lost that I could have spent with him, I could have given back all the love that he gave me.
That scares me too. Dementia. That scares me.
I grew up without a father. My father left when I was, 8 months old, 9 months old, and I have 3 sons. I never wanted a kid to grow up like that, seeing me as a father that wasn't there, and now they're both adults, and I wasn't there for the first 13 years of their life. One's now a Marine, the other's a bricklayer, and they're grown men, and to think that I caused them that type of pain, to not have a father, like I perpetuated the cycle. And so I just really relate to that, and that shame is hard to deal with, man, right? And it's not about what we've done, it's what we do, right?
People are always like, oh, the scariest thing about prisons, fighting, getting assaulted, getting this, but it's really the time. Time you lose and the people you can lose in that time, because there's not a thing you can do to get it back.
She was in prison?
Yeah, I understand that big time. I regret it too.
Thank you, guys.
As a kid, I used to commit felonies on purpose as a source of protection from the abuse I faced at home.
They're going to come forward. He's coming forward.
When I was
I've heard, and this is serious, I've heard that former prisoners or people in prison who were in there for like 10 years or more, committing crimes on purpose so they can go back to prison because they've got nothing or no one on the outside. And on the inside, there's people to talk to, cellmates, in the cafeteria, in the yard. There's people that do that. That's true, and that's scary. I don't know. Is it the prison system's fault? Should they help prisoners who have been in prison for a long time, many years, help them get adjusted to life outside of the prison? I think they should. Because you have former prisoners committing robberies, sexual assaults, worse, just to go back to prison, so they have like a family, people to talk to. On the outside, it's like they don't have anyone.
5 years old, I started to get molested by my uncle. And over the course of the next 6 years of my life, I was molested by more than 5 men. So when I was 7, I broke into a church, and I got charged with a felony. and put on probation. And when I got put on probation, all the men that were molesting me went away. And so when I got off probation, they all came back. And so I went and broke the law again and got put on probation again. So my whole life, I continued to go out and break the law. I would purposely go out and catch felonies because this is how I protected myself. My mother didn't care. I didn't have any other family members.
My God. My God. It was either go back to prison or juvenile hall, whatever, or get raped by the same 7 guys. Was it 7? 5 to 7 guys. I can't even imagine. I can't even imagine. His mom didn't do anything. She didn't care. Oh my God. I hope his mom's dead and she's burning in hell. Heaven and hell are real. I swear on my life, heaven and hell are real. And I wouldn't do that if I was like, I've done a lot of research. I've seen a lot of videos. I've seen videos of people who have died and gone to heaven, and people who have died and said they went to hell. So many people. Man, I can't even imagine it. I would probably do the same thing. Or run away, but then you would be on the streets and like have to commit a crime, like rob someone just to have money. It was like, for him, commit a crime or have these 6 son of a bitches, 5 to 7 of them, rape you. Son of a, I swear, I hate people who rape, especially little kids. I've heard it all. I've heard the worst. I'm not going to say it. Let's just get back to his story.
And so to protect myself from the abuse, that's what I would do. And I told on my uncle, and his threats came true because he would tell me as a little kid when he was molesting me, if you tell anybody, I'll have to hurt the whole family. And while he didn't hurt the family like he thought when I told on him, he went to prison and my whole family fell apart. We no longer went to grandma's house. There was no more aunts, no more uncles, no more cousins. Everybody blamed me. It was my fault. And it turned into this reclusive kid. And
oh, Jesus. Oh. I hate when that happens. When I hear that so many times from victims on YouTube or wherever I watch it, when a kid reports that his uncle molested him or molested her. They report it, and the family doesn't believe them, says they're lying, says they're making it up. It tore the family apart, and everyone blamed him.
And it made me a target in school because I had no self-confidence. I was horribly bullied going through school.
Oh my gosh.
And by the time I was 15, I had 10, 12 felonies on my record. And so the judge was sick of me and bound me over to adult court. And when I
our judicial system here in the United States, to me, the greatest country in the world. No offense to anyone watching from the UK or Canada, wherever. But as far as the judicial system, it is one of the worst in the effing world. They put people away for using drugs. There's people that get sentenced to more prison time than some people who commit murder. This judge saying, you know what, I'm tired of you. I'm going to send you to the adult. I feel so bad for this man. I feel so bad. And then when he said he was bullied in school, what else is there? What else is there? Is he going to say he was shot and stabbed?
When I went in at 16, he sent me to prison. And I had never been taken away before. I had never been locked up, so I didn't know what was coming.
Was he raped?
And I was just this abused kid from the country. And
in prison?
They put me in prison when I was 16, and I was raped the first week I was there by 2-minute knife point. And it turned me into a savage. And I became this very violent human being because that became my source of protection. And I no longer feared physical pain. I no longer feared felonies. I had resolved that I was going to spend the rest of my life in prison. And when I was 21, they opened the doors and sent me back to the world with $75 and 3 condoms and no parole.
They sent him back out into the world with $75 and 3 condoms? What the actual, this is one of the worst stories I've ever heard. It's only been 7 minutes and 8 seconds. I might have to cut this, or not 7 on the YouTube. It's 22 minutes on this video. I'm only 7 minutes and 8 seconds into a 29-minute video. I'm not going to be able to watch all of them.
No probation, and I didn't know how to protect myself anymore from the monster that I had become. And so I started to rob people, and I started to hurt people, and for 20 months I was just a horrible stain in the world. And I was ultimately convicted of 15 more felonies and sent back to prison for 12 more years. And
people aren't born evil. Life turns people evil. As a serial killer once said, serial killers aren't born, serial killers are made. And then he offed himself. Actually with a bomb. Anyways, this is so sad.
And it became a safety net for me to get into trouble, to catch felonies. I felt like that's what my life was worth.
He looks like, there's any Baron Corbin. That's who he kind of reminds me of. Baron Corbin, the WWE pro wrestler. If you want to look it up, Baron Corbin. This guy's bald. It's tattooed on his neck. Side of his face got a couple. This guy, this is an example. There's people out there who don't have sympathy for people like this. They're like, you weren't strong enough to not commit those crimes. If you were strong, you wouldn't have done the things you did. Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. You be in their shoes. You be in their shoes. Ever since this kid, he said when he was 5 he was first raped. And it continued for years by the same 5 to 7 guys. And his mom didn't care. And his family, when he told, and the uncle went to prison, the family blamed him. F that family.
And ultimately spent 18 years. Yeah, that was my secret.
Can I ask where you're at today?
Today I'm super happy. I was given 5 years in solitary confinement while I was in prison, and I met a Muslim man who changed my life. He became my
5 years in solitary confinement. 5 years. 5 years in solitary confinement. But he met a Muslim man.
mentor, taught me about processing emotion, taught me about forgiveness of others and myself, taught me about kindness and compassion and love, and I've dedicated my life to that ever since. I am so whole and healed, and I spend my life helping people do it.
What advice would you give to any boy or man going through any similar experiences you went through?
Speak. Tell somebody. Right? Our voice is our healing mechanism. Our voice is what can save us. It's what can stop the abuse. Speak. Say something. Tell anybody that you can. There's a lot of boys going through it. And I just want to, if I could, I'd heal the world, right? And so I hope that my life and my story are somehow help, right? Sorry.
Oh, it's okay. Thank you so much for sharing.
He's getting all emotional. Now he's trying to help people. He said if he could, he would help all the boys out there going through the same thing, or help everyone going through the same thing. There's so many. It's not just girls who are raped and molested. It's boys too. And it's so effing sickening. If I was in charge of the judicial system, if you kill someone and there's plenty of proof, DNA, everything, death penalty. If you raped someone, rapists can't be reformed. They can't. Trust me. I'm a true crime fan, have been for 30 years. They can't be reformed. Send them to life in prison without the chance of parole. Our prisons in America are overcrowded. They're the second most overcrowded prisons in the world. You get rid of all those murderers, killers. Kill them all. Rapists, step up, life in prison without parole. Child molesters, Same thing. Life without parole. I'm so proud of this guy for sharing his story.
And we already know that's going to make a huge impact on other people.
That girl in the back's bawling.
Those lives once they hear it too. If you can relate at all to Sonny's secret, you may step forward on 3. 1, 2.
How does anyone
3.
relate?
Or you may turn around.
No one can
Nobody
relate.
else caught purposeful balance?
Nobody here can relate, but I'm sure we know that so many people will. So thank you for sharing.
I'm gonna end the video there. I was gonna watch the whole video, but wow. Bravo for that man for sharing his story. I can't even imagine. And there's kids right now that what happened to him are going through it right now. Well, I don't want you to picture it, but everything that he said when he was a kid, kids are going through it right now. In every state, bad stuff is happening right now. Pisses the fuck out of me. Pisses the fuck out of me. That was one of the worst stories I've ever heard. Bravo to him for sharing it. Bravo for him to share it. It's on a popular YouTube channel, so millions of people are going to see it. And you know what? That's a great thing. He said, speak up, speak up, speak. Tell anyone who will listen. If you were ever raped or molested, go to the police. Tell them. If you ever are raped or molested, a female, male, please go tell someone or go to the hospital. And so they can take a rape check, and they're automatically obligated to call the police, so the police will come and interview, and you can tell them everything. Don't let these people get away with it. He spoke up, but his stupid family, everything broke down. Family reunions, holidays, he said, all that. And they hated him and blamed him because he sent the uncle to prison. You sent my brother to prison, Lou. You sent my cousin to prison. You sent my uncle to prison. No, speak up, like he said. Speak up. Tell someone. Tell your teachers. Tell anyone. Someone you trust. Anyways, I'm going to end the video there. I love all you guys. Thank you so much. Like always and forever. Take care. Be safe. Peace.